Broadcasting live from the WGBB World Headquarters here in New York. This is the Big Fat Joey Show with your host, Big Fat Joey.
Hey, Sin, Big Fat Joey Show. Biggest thing on radio. What's up?
New Sunday and a new president.
New president thus far. You know, got to wait for all the final votes to be tallied. But you know what? We'll leave that up to the news and to all those in the know. But we have a jam-packed show today.
I'm super excited. We have the legend of the sea, the one bringing the yummiest crab legs to shore. Who could it be?
Charlie Tuna from Starkist?
Try again.
Flipper?
No, you don't eat Flipper.
No, but the Flipper is bringing, you know, some snacks.
Try again.
Sig Hansen from Discovery TV's Deadliest Catch.
He was so fun, and he brings the yummiest food back, and he works so hard.
Sig Hansen, the captain of NorthWestern, kind enough to take time out of his day. When we caught up with him, he was on his boat in Dutch Harbor, Alaska, with the Discovery crew, about to roll out onto the Bering Sea for another season of king crab fishing.
So yummy. I mean, not all crabs are the same.
Not all crabs are the same, but you know what? Sig does his best, him and the whole fleet out of Dutch Harbor, to not only entertain us on TV, but to bring us some of the yummiest seafood out there. It was great to have him. He was a bowl full of laughs. Great guy. If you've never seen the show, I don't know what rock you're living under, but you better get onto the Discovery Channel and check out Deadliest Catch, starring Sig Hansen from the NorthWestern.
And who else do you have?
We also have the sophisticated pop duo, Soul. We have Renee and Lang of Bliss. They have a new song out, a remake of Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. You can pick that up now, and also you can pick up their latest EP, 3. And when you do that, make sure you play it loud and proud, because these two are giving their all. They took COVID and they made something of it. And, you know, their song, What's Going On, is very apropos to, you know, what's going on in the country and the world as a whole. So, you know, listen into their interview. But up first, we have Sig Hansen of Deadliest Catch fame from the NorthWestern. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line fan favorite. I know I love the show. One of my favorite captains, Captain Sig Hansen from Deadliest Catch, the captain of the NorthWestern. Captain, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're back up in Alaska getting ready for our king crab season, so I'm just happy to be here, man, honestly.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule. I can only imagine what really takes to get that ship up and running and getting ready to pull out of port to go catch some king crab.
Yeah, they do a lot of filming with us, you know, but this year's been different, obviously, with quarantine and everybody trying to respect those, you know, rules and boundaries. And so it's been a different year for sure. Different startup, without question. We're just lucky to be able to go participate, you know.
So is obviously Discovery is going to be on the boat this year. They should be getting there, I guess, any moment, if they're not already there.
Yeah, they've been respecting the quarantine regs as well. So camera guys are raring to go and get out there. And yeah, a couple of different faces that you'll see this year. I don't think I have liberty to say, you know, some of the newer guys that are there or guys that may not be there.
Right.
But you know, it's always different. They switch it up and we switch it up for whatever reason. And it's kind of, every year's different. So that's what makes it fun. I think that's why people watch. So
when this all started, did you think it would be what it is today? This juggernaut, this huge show, one of the best shows on TV.
No, I mean, when it first started, it was a one-off deal, you know. It was more of a documentary, and the thing just snowballed. So absolutely not. Then after a couple of years, you know, they said, boy, if we get 10 years, it would be a game changer. And here we are, year 17, and she's still going young. So, yeah, who'd have thought? Unbelievable. For the intent.
I love the show, and you have I love the food. I love crab legs. And this is Cynthia. I love the crab legs. Are you tired of like smelling crab legs and fish all day? And do you eat the crab legs?
Hey, that's my living. The more you love it, the more I make, right?
I
think it's a good thing.
I love it. Delicious.
Yeah, it's not the Big Fat Joey Show for nothing. We are a connoisseur of both the king crab, snow crab, crab legs, as well as fish. We enjoy a nice fish meal. As a matter of fact, we just had some king crab legs about 2 weeks ago.
So delicious. How are you feeling? I know you had a lot going on. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel like I'm getting older. It sucks. I mean, it really does when you get older. It's no fun. But I feel like, second lease in life. I've had 2 heart attacks. I've had, a lot of close calls. But it's harder mentally than it is physically. Put it that way. You pray to God. You wake up the next morning and get something out of your day. So for me, it's more of a mental challenge than anything.
Right, and obviously, especially when you're on the boat, it's different if you're on land and you're not feeling well. Like, all right, let me get to the hospital. You're on the boat. You got to call for the Coast Guard. I mean, this could be a couple-hour ordeal.
Oh, Joe, you're right on. Exactly. When you get up here, you can't wait to go back to work and do what you love to do. But at the same time, it's being out there and not knowing. You don't just dial 911 and have an ambulance come and get you if there's something wrong. It really does weigh in the back of your mind. But that's just I guess that's just how it is, a risk you got to take.
Now, how do you and the crew stay focused? I mean, they're working out there, but the frigid weather, the 30-foot waves, the howling wind, how do you guys stay focused and not get mentally and physically battered down every day?
They do. Everybody does. And there's a time when, when you can look at the guys and you just got to pull the plug and call it quits for a few hours and recharge your batteries. But they do get exhausted. And then the mental game, I mean, I think that comes with having the same guys. We've typically had the same crew for decades. And so you get to really learn where everybody's, where that fine line is, Because pretty soon, if you get a new guy on board, you don't know his breaking points, and then everybody's different. Guys flip out, people lose it, and I think that's the thing. Knowing your partners, knowing how far you can push, and then just working within those boundaries. Try to.
You must be exhausted after a full day because I don't know how you do it. This is what you're doing is a hard job.
Yeah, but you know what? It's strange because when you've done it for so long, first year for me as a kid was 1978, and you look up to all these heroes that I've had over the years and you want to emulate them. And then, pretty soon your body adjusts to the lifestyle. Mentally, you adjust to it. It's challenging. So you want to, that's what your motivation is. And then greed is a big motivator, obviously. But at the same time, like when I get home, then you turn into a different person. But it usually takes me a week or two just to adjust being back on land because I can't go to sleep. It's impossible. I'll be sitting up till I can't. It'll be 2, 3, 4 in the morning sometimes. My wife is like, "What is wrong with you? You feel like you can't just lay down at 10 o'clock. Oh, it's time to go to bed, shut your eyes and get your 8 hours or whatever you want." It doesn't work that way. You're so, I don't know, your body doesn't feel tired until exhaustion starts to set in. And then you feel like you earned your sleep.
Right.
And when you're fishing, you feel like, okay, I'm not exhausted. Therefore, there's no schedule. Therefore, let's keep going if need be. So 2 different mentalities. But trying to bring one to the other is tough. Just, now getting started, yeah. I know that I'll have a slow start and it's going to be some groggy mornings, but I got my daughter with me. So I've got a co-captain. So I just need to learn to take advantage of her a little more or that situation and then go to sleep when you need to. Stop being so stubborn or stupid, whichever word suits. You know, it's kind of what it is.
I don't know how you juggle family, having your daughter Mandy on the ship. Like, how's that working? It must be hard to be like far away from, like you said, your wife and stuff. How do you handle that?
It's a hard one. I mean, you know, my brothers were with us, you know, when we were younger men. So that was a hard transition, you know, but my motto was always putting the boat first. You know, like you wear a different hat and we managed it. And then now you got your daughter, whole different dynamic. She tends to forget sometimes that, hey, you're not talking to dad, you're talking to your boss. Sometimes I forget I'm not talking to a deckhand, I'm talking to a daughter. You know, it's like we slip up once in a while and forget that we're here for a reason. And then it becomes personal. And then all the, you know what, hits the fan. And it's, you know, it's kind of nice. I mean, I'm just glad she's here because I'm so proud of it, proud of the fact. I'll admit that. It's never been done, you know. I mean, she's one of the youngest women to ever fish the Bering Sea in the middle of winter. So, you know, for my pride, I get to tell stories for the rest of my life. You know, I think that's kind of neat. One of these days, if I ever get retired, but I certainly don't want her to feel. I'm worried that she's here, you know, because of legacy or because, she feels obligated. That's the one that scares me. She's always wanted to be on the boat since she was a little girl. She's been on the boat since she was 12 in the summers, tendering for salmon. So she knows the boat. I just don't like her to feel obligated because there's plenty of other stuff to do out there that's a little bit safer work. Put it that way.
Well, I'm sure she definitely wants to be on the boat because your job, every time I watch the show, I said, oh my God, like you're really working. There is no glamour to this whole business. Everyone smells on the boat. I mean, you know, you're with all these men mostly. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, she's pretty tough. And you know, I mean, my wife, for crying out loud, one of the most beautiful women to me. And very feminine, but at the same time, you know, with her Norwegian roots and growing up in the old country, all that, you know, they're not afraid to get their hands dirty. And, you know, it's funny, like when they get all dolled up and our oldest daughter, you know, Nina, she's 29. You know, we just had another grandbaby born here in March. And, you know, when the girls get dolled up and we're all blonde and then you're going to wherever, you get a lot of attention. I'm just saying, you know, you just do.
Well,
and then you look at the television, you see you know, like Mandy at work and you're thinking, or I'm always thinking, wow, I mean, that's the same person. So you can't always judge a book by the cover. I guess that's where I'm going for.
If you weren't a fisherman, what would you do?
You know, that's a funny question. I was thinking, you know, it's so funny because when we first started this, you know, I mean, we've always been fishing. When they first started filming us, okay, fine. And then you start doing interviews. Okay, that's part of the deal. I didn't know because didn't know how your business worked. Then you had to do interviews. Then I'd get asked that question time and time again. And you got to remember, now it's 17 years for me. And I'll be turning 55, so it's much different mentality. So in the beginning, I would have said something like, I don't know, like a NASCAR or something with a little bit of risk and reward. You know, something edgy like that, I think was my answer all the time. Now I'm thinking, oh, heck no. I don't need that risk. I think I've already dodged enough bullets. So I think something on land, You know what'd be fun? It'd be fun to do what you're doing. Do interviews or do something like that.
It is fun.
That'd be fun.
It definitely is a shade safer than fishing on the Bering Sea. But we love watching the show. And by the way, congratulations on your latest grandchild. How does fishing on the Bering Sea really work? I mean, I see you guys go out there, and you hear the NOAA weather report: gale winds, 60 knots, 8 to 10, 40, 50, 60 feet waves. I mean, do you go out there and go, oh boy, here we go again?
Oh yeah, I mean, I did it yesterday. I'm looking at the weather and I'm like, oh my God, here it comes. It never fails. The biggest thing for us is we have a quota system now, and
right.
like the guys on the East Coast, they're getting around there. It'll come. Europe, they were the first. And the quota system has changed everything. So you've gone from a derby style into a little more civilized way of doing things. Now, depending on your size of your quota, depending on your needs or the needs of the canneries, right? The guys that are processing, you still got that risk. Now, we can say, hey, I'm going to leave a little later. I'm going to let that storm blow through. So now that we've got all our pots on board, and that's when the boats are typically the most unstable, that's when you really got to watch that weather. So, I see weather coming in right now, but for God's sake, the main thing is to get the gear off the boat. Once you got the pots off the boat, then let it blow. We're okay with that. When you're seeing 40, 50 plus, it's no fun. It's doable. And if you're out there, you're going to do it. So we can't pick the weather. We can pick a little more responsible time to leave the dock, but once you're out there, you're pretty much out there, and just pray you don't have the pots on. That's all we can do. But it has made a big difference so far.
And how many miles from shore do you normally run?
Well, I mean, right now, the king crab, I think the majority of the guys would be a couple 100 miles off. It's probably 200-300 miles. When you're fishing a Pelio in the winter, if you want to get up north to the Russian border, you're looking at 400, 500, 600 miles, depending on how far you want to go.
Wow!
So a lot of times we'll do these surveys, and it's a long way, but you can do those surveys, and if there's crab closer in the Pribs, then you're looking at maybe 200 to 300 miles, which is, you've got St. Paul Island, so that's the only safe haven we have. That's the only place you can run to. So, if you see weather reports where there's 70, 80 knot winds coming, well, you can still duck in and go hide behind that island. But that's the only place you can go hide. So, and that's another thing, too, with technology. I mean, my God, when I look back, the weather reports were never as accurate as they are today.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have internet on a boat where we do today. We had to rely on the single sideband radios and get word with each other if we couldn't pick them up. You didn't always get the weather that day. And so with technology, it's streamlined things for the better, and that just makes it safer. But you still got to go through it, once in a while. It happens. I can't pick the weather.
No, it's like your relatives. You can't pick the weather. You can't pick your relatives. Now,
yeah.
Now, what's the, you're a superstar in your own right from being on TV 17 seasons now. Has any other star fanboyed over you, saw you like, oh my God, there's Sig Hansen?
Oh yeah, and that's another thing that's kind of we never saw it coming, especially for me, because the NorthWestern, my boat was on the first, the pilot series,
mm-hmm.
the first step, and ever since. So I've been pretty fortunate to be a part of all that, and we'll do things like upfronts where you're supporting Discovery Channel, and they've got all the advertisers, and they send us to the East Coast, New York, and meet all these advertisers, and that's a lot of fun, because without that, there's no money to do the show,
right.
and that's how the circle works. That being said, you meet a lot of these other celebrity types that are, pretty big. And for me, it's flattering. But it's even more so flattering when they see you and start waving their arms and wanting pictures. I mean, who'd have thought? And I've always tried to keep it in perspective. You know what I mean? It's like fishing first, camera second. And that recipe has been working.
Right.
And I don't think it's gone to too many of the guys' heads. I think, if you start letting that go to your head and think you're something you're not, I think that's when you're in trouble.
Who's your celebrity crush?
Oh, well, you know what? I'll tell you this story. So we were, and I think I've mentioned it before, but Vince Neil, right? So he was, what was it, Motley Crue? He's a singer. Yep. And my wife and I were in Vegas. Yeah, we were in Vegas and doing our thing. And he was there in front of a crowd for some reason. And we're walking by, and I didn't notice him, but he's like, all of a sudden I hear him go, Captain Sig, and he was screaming across the crowd. And then, I got a big hug, and he's like, dude, I love your program. And he said, my wife hates your show. I go, why would she hate the show? Because every time it's on, I watch all the rerun after rerun. I don't go to bed. And so the old joke is, I ruined Vince Neil's sex life because he never goes to bed. He watches the show. That's kind of
That's funny.
But I mean, and it's so flattering when guys at that level, see you and really appreciate you. It's just really flattering. I mean, get to meet people like Paul McCartney, we're at a fundraiser, things like that, and they take notice. All these guys, Toby Keith, the country singer, you name it. I mean, the list goes on, and it's very, very flattering, very flattering.
Well, you're a legend on the boat, let me tell you, because this show's been going on. Like I said, I love the food. I mean, we love the show.
Yeah, the show is great, and you can tell it's real. Obviously, there's no time for fakery on the deck. The men and women are working, the crab pots. You can't stage that. These are 1,500-pound behemoths coming at you, and you just got to do your job, and, the camera catches what it catches.
Exactly. Yeah, and the fact that people still watch us, for me, is very flattering as well. And but like I said, you never know. Every season is different, And we look at all the guys that we've lost over the years and the boats that have gone down. It's a sore topic, but it doesn't get any more real than that. And it's just one of those things that you just never know. So I mean, our goal is to be as safe as we can, like always. We want sustainability. We want a future for the next generation, and we're not fishing as much crab as we used to back in the day. But that being said, when the cameras are here, they're just here to just pick up what they see. And they've tried to manipulate a little bit, but it doesn't work. You just get what you get, The problem that they have is, they got to condense maybe weeks or months, and they got to condense that into 18, 20, 22 hours of TV. So sometimes the timeline is a little bit skewed, but I understand why. They got to do it. But other than that, yeah, what you see is what you get.
No, and it's definitely a good show. So have you ever met Bon Jovi? Because his song was the theme song for your show for the longest of times.
Oh, that's right. I never met him. I know he was working with the Discovery Channel, so I'm surprised that I haven't ran into him, but I'm sure he's a busy guy too. And, I met the guys on the Orange County Choppers and those fellows, and of course, Mike Rowe and all these guys. And,
right.
It's a lot of fun. Ben, that taxi cab.
Oh, yeah, Ben.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun to hang out with.
Yeah, Ben Baisley. Yeah, from Cash Cab.
When you guys have me, he's a great guy. Great guy. And then when you have me and the Hillstrands and Keith and some of these guys together, the gloves are off, man. We've had a lot of fun together. I mean, stuff that you just, thank God there was no cameras, put it that way. I had a lot of fun with those guys.
Now, all these guys we see, the Hillstrands, Keith, everyone else we see on the show, have they all always been up there? Like, have you known these guys for 10, 20, 30, 40 years?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'll tell you what, if you've been up for long enough, you're going to have a reputation, whether you like it or not. You're going to be labeled whether you like it or not. A lot of these canneries, you know, they might have been from Kodiak or a place called King Cove, different areas, you know. We're pretty much based out of Akitan, where Trident Seafoods is located, 40 miles from Dutch. And then, of course, we're back and forth to Dutch Harbor. So you're always running into these guys. A lot of times when, you know, back in the day when there was, you know, over 200 boats participating, you're going to run into each other somewhere, somehow. Maybe it's a negative thing because we're setting each other down or fighting on the radio.
Right.
But eventually, you'll get to know each other, and that's kind of nice. I've known Keith, you know, since he was a deckhand and started running the Wizard. I've watched his progression. He's seen mine. You know, all that stuff, and that's what makes it nice. It really does. The show did bring us much closer together. You know, I'll admit that. It really did, because you have to spend time with each other. You know, for obvious reasons. When we're kicking off the start of the show, and like with Phil before he passed away, you know, I mean, we became much different friends. We were friends before, but we became a different type of friend, closer because of the events we did together and the families traveling with each other, promoting the program and doing things with the, you know, Discovery and for the show. And it just it brings you really close together, you know, and it's when you lose guys like that, it hurts twice as much because you see them in a whole different light. So that's the hard one to swallow too. You know, you have a different feeling for and different respect for all the guys on a different level, more personal level, you know, and that's why I'm so fearful, because you know I've got brothers and daughter and family on board, and my son-in-law is on board, and it's a big risk to take, you know.
Right.
So it's a big one. It really is.
Right. Yeah, no, it was a big loss when Phil Harris died, you know, a few years back. And yeah, I could see that, because before the show, you were all running your boats, trying to earn money. Hey, how you doing, Phil? How you doing, Keith? Blah, blah. But you know, you don't have time to hang out. But the show, you know, was kind of, you know, forced you to hang out because you had now, you know, the junkets to do, and you got to know each other a little more personally. And I could see how those bonds would develop and bloom.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. And it just totally changed everything. So, especially like with Phil and his boys, you know, and I mean, he trusted me to try to help out however I could before he, you know, passed away.
Right.
You know, he made comments like, "I want you to watch out for him," you know, things like that, where he probably wouldn't have done that, you know, otherwise. So, yeah, it's different. It's definitely a different deal, but that's a good thing. That just means everybody's working together as a family for a common goal, right? And that's a good thing. And there's still a lot of guys after you. They still want to knock you off the top spot. You know, I mean, it is what it is. The younger guys still want to throw down and be aggressive out there and do their thing, but I guess that's expected.
Yeah, you know, they want to, you know, spread their feathers, show their peacock feathers, that they're the next big thing out there. But hey, you know, you, Keith, and the rest of the, you know, the Hillstrands, you've put in your time, and you guys are at the top right now, and they're just going to have to wait their turn.
I agree, and I think, you know, if a guy's already proven himself, and it's like I've already proven myself, in my opinion.
Right.
You know. Don't go after the old guy. Go pick on your buddies and go have fun with them. Leave me alone. That's how I look at it. But that's not going to happen.
Well, speaking of fun, Sin here has got her favorite show game that she likes to play, This or That. So hold on. Here she comes.
All right, Captain Sig, here we go. You ready?
All right.
Okay.
Sure. What do you got?
This or that. Is it meat or potatoes or fish and chips?
Meat and potatoes, only because fish and chips are deep fried.
Okay. Crab cakes or crab legs?
Crab legs.
How about rock lobster by the B-52s or cake by the ocean by the Jonas Brothers?
Oh, my. Well, it would be 52s. But I did work with one of the Jonas Brothers. I forget his name, but I got to go old school. Going old school.
Old school. How about, all right, here we go, old school. Cover of GQ or cover of AARP?
Are you talking for me?
For you. Which one would you be on?
Oh my God! Oh my God, that hurt. You know
No!
what?
It's good. Pick a good one.
All right, I'm gonna give this to you. I would do GQ just because I could say I did it. I can get ARP anytime, man.
Yeah, exactly. I love
just for
it.
my daughter's bragging rights.
I love it. I love it. How about Jaws or Finding Nemo?
Oh, Finding Nemo.
And also, if you were to produce a porn movie, would it be called Free Willy or You Got Crabs?
You Got Crabs, hands down.
All right. Thanks for playing.
See, that's why.
I really like the GQ one because the GQ one's so embarrassing. I was thinking to myself, you know, like when they do, they do like photo shoots and they make you, they got people, a lot of guys don't know this, right? They put this on or put that on, or I remember the first time they put makeup on me. I was on the Jay Leno show and they powdered you down. It was like the most embarrassing thing ever. And so the GQ, I was thinking of all the guys that had to pimp me up if I had to do that. Oh, God help them if they had to do something like that.
It's so fun.
Now, Simpson has the game show that's, she put you through there. If you were to do anything else, and I know before you mentioned that you wanted to, possibly be a race car driver. Is there anything you could see yourself never doing? Like, nah, I would never do that job. That's just not for me. Maybe like an office job.
Well, I'm afraid of heights. I don't think I'd want to be a window washer. Yeah, I don't like heights, man. When I was a kid, we had antennas go out. You had to go up in the mast, when it's blowing and moving, almost falling off the mast. I don't like heights anymore. So nothing like that. And that's it. I'm just being honest. An office job, I got to tell you, I don't think I'd last long. I got to feel my mouth. I'm such a, big mouth. I think I'd get fired. Probably take about a day, and I'd probably get the axe. I got a feeling.
Now, this upcoming, this upcoming season, I know that they're starting the film. So this is what we see next year? The stuff that you're filming from now.
Yeah, we're starting now for our seasons. We'll have our king crab and snow crab and some bear eye. So that's really good for the fleet. I'm just so glad that that we that the state opened those fisheries, and typically the program is aired in April. So they've got a heck of a job when they film all this stuff, trying to put it together. And then as we fish our snow crab or Apelio, in January and February, March. They're still putting those episodes together. So as they're being aired, they're frantically putting it together and getting it on air in the nick of time. So they got a hell of a responsibility, and everybody works together. The channel, the production company, and the fishermen. It's quite a lot of. It's impressive what they do to get this thing on TV. I think most people look at it. Well, they just figure it's on TV. It's there, but it takes a lot to do it. So, hats off to these guys.
Now, do you or any of the guys who've you've been doing this your whole life, do you get seasick anymore?
Well, my hat's off to the cameramen and all the producers and of course the Discovery Network. As far as seasick, I'll feel it a little bit more in my head than my gut, and lay down for a couple hours. I'm good, but. We've had camera guys that have been so sick, they had to go back in. They get so dehydrated, they can't keep anything down, and that's always been an issue. But, so they got to muddle through it, and it's not easy for a lot of people.
Now, one other question I have for you, and I've seen this before. What's the superstition about no luggage on the boats?
Well, suitcases, I mean, that's from my grandfather back in the day, and there's a lot of superstitious things like that. No bananas and horseshoes and cowboy boots and all this stuff. Suitcases, they just take up too much room. And, you know, you look like a landlubber. I mean, that's why you have a sea bag, you know. That's just how it is. So you got to see. And, you know, the first year when these camera guys came on board and all of a sudden you see these guys pulling suitcases. I mean, it looked like a freight train. Suitcases and camera cases and the whole shebang. And I looked at them. I said, it's not going to happen, fellas. They had to take all of their stuff out of those bags right there at the dock, put it on the boat, and then and we left. That was the way the suitcase thing happened for them.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, there's those boats aren't accommodating. It's not a luxury liner that you're going on a Bahamian cruise.
No, and you know, I mean, these boats were built for packing pots, not luxury. Especially our boat, you know, it's a house forward, different configuration. It was built for a 4-man deck, 4 to 5, and you know, now you've got extra crew member, you have extra cameramen. Now we carry what's called an observer. So the state, you know, 30% of the boats have an observer to gather scientific information. If you do have one, you'll never see them on the show. You know, they kind of cut them out, but they're just taking data. So, you know, this little boat, you know, sometimes you got 8, 9, 10 guys, and it gets real crowded real fast. So you got to learn to live together.
Are you familiar with the show on Bravo called Below Deck?
Yeah, I've watched it a time or two. I've seen that show, and you know, we were at the Emmys here last year, and I for some reason I didn't get a chance to say hello. I forget the captain's name, but
Captain Lee or
my
Captain
daughter
Sandy?
and son-in-law said hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the gentleman.
Yeah, Captain Lee.
I guess his name. Yeah. So yeah, I wish I would have shook his hand. I didn't get a chance, but my daughter did.
It was funny when I told my co-host, I said, "Oh, we're gonna get Captain Sig from Deadliest Catch." Oh, that's like Captain Lee from Below Deck. I said, "Well, you know, Captain Lee is cruising the Mediterranean eating escargot. Captain Sig, he's battling 80-mile-an-hour winds and 40-foot seas catching crab legs. That's, you know, they're both captains in the sense of the word, but they both travel on different boats."
Yeah, a little different lifestyle. Well, you know, he's got a whole different responsibility. You know,
Right.
I mean, you know. Who knows what those things are worth? I'm sure it's tens of millions, for hundreds. Who the hell knows? But I mean, complete different responsibility, and I get it. At the same time, you know, he's responsible. That being said, I know the kids asked him, you know, well, maybe, and my wife always wished that Mandy, because she got her license and all that at a Cal Maritime, that would have been a good thing for her to jump into, and that was kind of her plan, believe it or not. And then she ended up sneaking on board here at the age of 17. So she goes, well, yeah. So she insinuated, like, well, maybe my son-in-law and I can, take a trip out there. We'd love to experience that. And I think his remark was, I think you guys might be a little hard on my boat. Something to that effect.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Mandy will be fishing off the bow there.
That would be kind of funny.
It would be fun. I think it would be
Yeah,
fun.
but think about it.
Or you could trade places.
What if we had our cruise on one of their boats?
Yes, I would love it.
What if we had one of our crews on their boat? Oh my God!
That would be a great show.
I think they're paying customers. The paying customer would say, "Where's my 5-star dinner?" And then Keith would probably throw him a pizza. Here you go.
Well, you have the crab legs. That's 5-star.
There you go. Yeah, steak and crab.
Exactly.
Or what about when Edgar, before the boat leaves, makes the below deck passengers bite the head off the herring, as you guys normally do for the tradition?
You're right. That's another little tradition. So we'd have all the passengers doing that for good luck, and they'd probably walk off the boat to leave for all I know. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun one. Absolutely.
So, Captain Sig, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Captain Sig and Deadliest Catch?
Well, I mean, obviously on the program, Discovery's got their websites up. I've been shying away quite a bit. We do have a website. All the boats have their websites and things like that. I've been shying away from it with the social media thing for a while. But, you know, you just Google their names, they'll find them. You know, if you're a fan of the Wizard or you know, any of those boats, I think they're all out there. And of course, we got one too. And it just gets pretty overwhelming. For me, it does, you know, and I shied away. It just got a little overwhelming, you know.
Well, I'm excited for this new season.
But this is just I think, you know, in my opinion, it's like, it's flattering. You get mail all the time, and we do the best to respond. And you got to remember, this thing goes in 100 countries, so we're getting mail for crying out loud. You know, in the beginning, I tell you, I mean, there was mail coming to Dutch Harbor with just the name of the boat on it, with no address, and it looked like Santa Claus was coming down the dock with a big bag of mail.
That's awesome.
And, you know, who'd have thought? So it's flattering as all get out. And then, but it's tough to keep up with that kind of, it's so fast and social media is so big. But I think if your game plan in life was to be like an actor or something on TV, then that's your goal in life. That's your job, your occupation.
Right.
And that's what comes with it. With us, we're doing our job or occupation. And so, you know, it's that fine line where you didn't expect it coming, and then it's real hard to deal with at times, you know, honestly.
Well, you know, even my show here, just the social media aspect alone is a part-time job between, you know, researching and then putting the posts up and getting everything down right. It's all in its own job by itself.
Exactly. And then that's time away from your family, and then, you know, you're not spending quality time when you're home with your wife or the kids. And now I got grandkids. So, you know, it did take a little backseat, and that's okay for now, you know.
Well, I thank you.
It's just the way it is. You know?
I totally thank you, because every time I have my dinner with the crab legs, I totally will think of you. And I'm waiting for that GQ picture, because I'll put it on my wall.
That's funny. Well, you guys have been great, and we're gonna get back to it here. We gotta get busy, and we're on our way here.
Thank you so much.
All right, Captain Sig, be well. Safe trip, safe voyage for you and the entire fleet out there in Dutch Harbor. We'll see you on Discovery Channel, and thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. We'll speak soon.
We really appreciate you and all your fans. Appreciate the time. I'm out.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, so what an interview with Sig.
He's so fun. And this and that was so fun to play. He was really funny.
Yeah, I can just see him on the cover of GQ. That him with a king crab in his hand and a bait hook and some bunker. That ought to be an interesting cover. But, you know, Captain Sig, it was awesome to speak with. I'm telling you, I think that interview could have gone on for hours, but the man had to go make a living. Discovery has to go make a living, and they were pushing out from Dutch Harbor. All right, everyone. Well, up next is my interview with Renee and Lang of Bliss. All right, everyone. Let's welcome to the line recording artists Lang and Renee Bliss of Bliss. Lang, Renee, welcome to Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
We're doing good. Joey, good to see you again, or talk to you. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, wait. If you're seeing me, I better put some pants on. Hang on a second here. I'm working from home. I got a headset on. That's almost about it. Besides a t-shirt. So let me.
Yeah, we still got our kind of pajama lounge pants on.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it great working from home? It's you're saving on laundry, saving on dry cleaning.
Yeah.
Since we last spoke, your EP3 came out 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually,
we released it in the fall, so I think it was 2 years ago. I think.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think we released it in September, or was it August or September? I think it was August actually. So I think it's just been 2 years since we released.
Yeah,
the
I think
EP.
it has been. Yeah.
But now, and we were speaking a little bit off air, and it's just very apropos. You have your new album coming out, which is 14 remixes of Marvin Gaye's iconic song, What's Going On. You were going to originally bring this out. We were talking in March of this year. And then obviously the pandemic and things got pushed back. And then obviously the situation in Minneapolis in May has, brought about a whole different movement across the country, which now your song really is indelible to that because, Marvin Gaye, as you well know, since you remixed this song, he wrote What's Going On based upon a Vietnam vet's coming home to the U.S. after the war and seeing what's going on, all the upheaval and turmoil in the U.S., which is what we're having now. So it's kind of, I look at it a little bit of a blessing that, your song is telling a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lang and I have, somebody asked us about the song earlier, and, as when we talked about releasing it, and it's like, one thing that's going to be a guarantee is there's always going to be trouble somewhere in the world. I mean, it's kind of like you can't avoid it. It's just going to happen. It just so happens that right now, we have a variety of things going on that, not only the riots, but the things with COVID and just, I think in Iowa, they just had we had that storm that came through
massive flooding.
Yeah, lots of stuff. Lots of stuff is going on. And I think because we have so many things all at the same time, it's just like you do get a little bit like going, you do ask the question, what's going on? I think we really are seeking to have answers.
What made you pick that particular song? What made you decide, I'm going to remix, Marvin Gaye's What's Going On in 14 different versions? What made you pick that?
Well, so we actually recorded it in our studio live, the video for it, 2.5 years ago. It was in February of 2018.
Yeah. So we didn't really.
We just loved the song.
Yeah, we did it.
We just thought it was such a cool thing
we
and always wanted to do it.
Yeah, it was a complete love of the song for why we did it. It wasn't until we've been involved with a friend of ours who has been the main champion of the dance remixes because we may have talked about this before, but Lang and I, our music, our specific genre of music would not be considered dance music. It's got groove element, it's got some R&B in it, soul, rock. It's a little bit of a combination jazz. It's got a little bit of jazz influence, but we're not dance artists like other artists who are very specifically dance artists. So our friend, he's been involved with us. We had a few remixes out before, and I'm not really. I think we just either he saw the video or we said, hey, we're gonna do an edit. We want to do an edit on this video and
really
get it out on YouTube.
We were trying to get content.
Yeah, we were trying to just create content, for our Facebook page and our different social media platforms. And he just freaked out over it, played it for a remixer who ended up being on our package. He was the very first remixer. We had a guy by the name of Paul Goodyear. He heard it and he says, I got to remix the song. And that was sort of how it took off. And so that's how the remixes came to be. It just sort of evolved kind of naturally through a string of events, and we ended up having some outstanding remixers on there. Dave on Day, Hector, and
some great remixers.
Yeah, so that's kind of the evolution of how that came to be.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the remixes, Hex Hector, Dave O'Day, Lee Dagger, all Emmy Award-winning DJs remixing. And I love the video. It has a lot of 70s vibe to it. It's a fun video to watch. They're all great remixes. I mean, I love the song to begin with, so obviously I'm already partial to it because, it's an iconic song. And, it's just fun to listen to. And you guys are fun. I mean, I know when we spoke, 2 years ago on your last EP3, you guys always are upbeat, fun. I'm always excited to speak with you, and it's just fun hearing your music.
Hey, well, thanks, man. We feel the same way, bro.
So, what else? Because I know that, even though this has been a long time project, I know you have, 4 or 5 other different pots cooking on the stove. What else do you have coming up for us down the road?
Well, one of the things that happened is we have August 28th, we have a white label remix that's dropping. And this remix is done by we're releasing a remix, that remix over in the UK through a promotions company there. And the DJ, his name is Guz, and he's from the Netherlands, and he's done a kind of over in the UK and America, there are some things they share musically that are the same, and there's a whole lot of things that are different. So he's done his different take on what's going on, and along with his remix, I believe Dave Auday's remix and Lee Dagger's remix and also Paul Goodyear's remix from this project is going to be promoted in the UK, and then Paul specifically is going to be promoted in Australia because he's originally from Australia. He lives here in the States now, but he's originally from Australia. And then we've got a bootleg remix of No Apology
by Rob
Moore, and also a DJ Aki. Okay, Aki. Let me see if I can say this right. It's a long title. DJ Aki's Big Room Circuit Mega Mix.
3 a.m. is in there.
3 a.m. Mega Mix. And what he's done is he took some of the past remixes of what we've done so far from different songs and put it together in a 9-minute.
Like Unshakable.
Yeah, it's like 9 minutes long.
Apology, I'm Coming Through, and What's Going On. So there's like 4 songs included in that, the big mega mix. 3 a.m. mega mix.
3 a.m. Circuit Mega Mix.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what's coming out on the 28th, and we're super excited about it.
Our next EP will be coming out the beginning of next year, so we're really excited about that. And finishing up some recording and mixing will start really soon, and we're going to start kind of leaking info out about that over the next few months. And very excited to get that out though beginning of next year, and hopefully things are going to be open by then, and we'll start being able to play out. And we've been talking. We were planning actually on being up in New York City back in June. Mm-hmm. That was the plan back in March. We, through the promo company we're with, they had some things lined up for us, and we were planning on being in the city. So hopefully that'll happen the beginning of next year, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what? It would be so nice. We got to get through this winter, and then hopefully when the spring pops, there'll be a vaccination. People will have the immunity. I don't know how it gets fixed. I'm not a doctor nor scientist, even though I do play one on the radio. Everyone can try to get back to some normalcy, because as we were talking a little before, I missed that. Just, hey, you know what? That's a new bakery. I'm in the mood for a cookie. Let me go run in that. Nah, I don't care how new it is. There you go. I'm not going, especially if there's a line. I'm not going. I don't need anyone coughing on me or coughing on my food. I don't know if you can get it that way, but just being extra, extra cautious. How can my audience find, follow, keep up with, and get your latest release from Bliss Bliss?
Yes. Well, you can follow us. Our website is blissbliss.com.
Mm-hmm.
We are on Facebook a lot. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/blissblissmusic. Our Instagram page is the same thing, instagram.com/blissblissmusic. And then we have a shop on our website. Just go to the shop page, and What's Going On remixes are available right there, the very first thing. But we also are on all of the typical places: iTunes, Amazon, Google Music, all those places.
Yeah.
Lang and Renee Bliss of Bliss Bliss, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck, success, health, and happiness. And we'll speak soon, definitely next year when your latest project drops.
Well, it sounds great.
Sounds great. Same to you, Joey.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll speak soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Their song, What's Going On, is so apropos to the times.
What's going on? I love that song, too. They sound great.
They definitely do. Everyone, Check them out. Pick it up from wherever you get your music these days. I'm running out of where you can get music. You can get it everywhere. I think my dog's got something on his collar. I think he sells music off his doggy collar.
You can stream from it.
You can stream from it. Definitely can. All right, everyone. You know what? It's that time again. The show goes so quick, especially when you have such great guests as we always do. All right, well, on our way out, we're going to be listening to Renee and Lang's of Bliss, their new hit song, What's Going On. But before we do that, this is Big Fat Joey Show. Biggest thing on radio here with Sin reminding everyone to make every sandwich count. Peace.
There's way too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Father, we don't need to escalate. You see that war is not the answer. Only love can conquer hate. You know we got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines, picket signs, punish me with brutality. Don't talk to me. You can see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going